Next, I want to talk about when do I turn my steering wheel going into these turns. So if I were to go into a right turn here, as I'm approaching, I'm going to be signaling mirror, mirror, shoulder check, and I'm waiting till I can no longer see the edge of the curb going into this road. So if I were to just have the camera for a second, if I were to film this from the driver's point of view, I'm almost at a position where the edge of that curb or the edge of that new road has come in to the corner of my window there, and this is when I'm starting to think about steering over to the right. So if I were to now go ahead and turn, I know that I can clear the curb and not have the collision with it. So similarly here, if I'm going to be turning right, I'm going to signal mirror, shoulder check, and I'm waiting till I clear that corner in my corner of my window there, and then I can turn the steering wheel. Similarly here, I'm waiting till I'm there, and then I'm turning. And it's the exact same concept going into a left turn, except for it's slightly different. So if I've got the curb here, I'm not interested in that curb. What I'm interested in is the orange line there, because when I turn left, I need to end up on the right side of that orange line. So what I'm gonna do is go forward enough that the corner of my window here is in line, from my point of view, when I'm looking as a driver, in line with that orange line. So I'm gonna be going out in a straight line till I'm about here, and then I would turn the steering wheel over to the left. If I were now to resume my turn, I would end up nicely where I want to end up. But if I don't follow that and I just turn with the edge of the curb in the corner of my window, if I go into this turn right now, I'm going to turn sharp for a left turn, and I'm going to end up on the wrong side of this two-way road. So that's why we'd want to wait till the line is in the corner of our window, and it's not quite in the corner of our window. So I'm going to show you what I mean in a second here. So if I'm going into this right turn, I would want to steer when I see the edge of that curb in the corner of my window here. You can see that the curb there is in the corner of my window there, or in the corner of the mirror there. But if I were to put the car into park and go have a look outside, you'll see that it's not quite the same thing from my point of view as it is for the front of the car. So let's have a look outside. And what's happening here is the front of the car is not quite lined up with that curb. It's close, but it's not quite lined up. But if you look, the edge of that curb is not a sharp edge. So I've got some room before I go into this turn. And notice my positioning on the road as well, right? I am closer to the yellow line here rather than hugging the right side of the road. So let me now resume my turn going into this new road here. So just to demonstrate this one more time, going into this junction here, waiting till it's roughly in the corner of that mirror from my point of view, and then I turn the steering wheel. Now I want to show you what it looks like for a left turn. As I'm coming up, I'm kind of waiting till I can see the line in the corner of my window here, if I now put the car into park and go have a look outside, you can see where the car is positioned when I'm turning this steering wheel. So if I were to look over here, you can see it's almost the same concept. The car is not quite at that orange line when I'm about to make that turn. But from my point of view as a driver, you think that, you know, the front of the car has already passed that line, but when I leave the car and you look from the outside, I'm not there yet. So now I'll go ahead and resume my turn. And it works out nicely. So if I try to demonstrate this one more time, if I'm going onto this road where I don't have a center divide line here, I'm going to draw the imaginary line for myself and imagine where it would be, and I would want that imaginary line to kind of line up with the corner of my window here before I think about steering over to the left, because when I turn, I want to end up on the right side of the road. Similarly, one more time, if I'm going into this turn, signal, mirror, mirror, shoulder check, and wait till the line is there in the corner, and then I turn the steering wheel.